the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal have reported that Elon is deep in deep negotiations, and we might see a deal with Elon ultimately buying Twitter for that tender $46.5 billion offer as soon as this week. Justin, simple question. Does this deal get done, and does Elon own Twitter?
I gotta say that the deal the deal chances have increased to 85% in my mind. I think it gets done. I think the meetings really show that they're scared. They're scared to get sued, like we just discussed, because this one's much more obviously potentially anti-shareholder, because Elon Musk is offering, and he's already added so much value to shareholders in a really crappy growth market. So I think it gets done. I think that it gets done, and I would hope it gets done in which Elon stays true to what he's trying to do, or what he said on Twitter, which is to keep as many existing public shareholders in as legally possible. So that, I think that means that he probably wants to buy 51% or 60% and keep public shareholders in. But that basically means that you probably have to buy your shares now and then be willing to hold private stock.
Tom, if this does get done, do you think it fundamentally changes Twitter if Elon actually ultimately owns it?
So for interrupting your beautiful transition, I'm going to actually cut off my own ball. And when I say ball, I mean the basketball, obviously. But sorry for that, Amit. Discount Justin. Here's what I have to say about this. And the one thing that's important to remember here is what happened yesterday, because this was the giveaway of when you knew things are going down. So yesterday, I was doing a live stream on a Sunday, impromptu. Amit, you were there because you stalked my channel.
And 2,000 other people showed up as well.
Yeah, and I love that about you. You're always been an unbelievable supporter of my channel. And you remember, you can testify that I've said yesterday, the deal is happening 100%. I'm calling it right now on the Sunday. And I said this, of course, Amit is nodding in case you are not seeing, because the thing is, what happened yesterday was a giveaway that the Twitter board understood that they're fucked. Because at the end of the day, they're meeting on the Sunday. So once I saw they're meeting on the Sunday, it's clear to me, you don't meet somebody on the Sunday unless it's urgent. And, you know, my grandpa, when he was a little bit younger, they called from the factory. He was working in a car factory in Ukraine. And they called from the factory and it's like, wake him up, it's urgent. So I go to my grandpa and I say to my grandpa, hey, they're saying it's urgent. Do you want to talk to them? And he was half asleep. And said, go back and ask them if it's urgent for them or urgent for me. And it's the same thing. It was urgent for them to meet with Elon on a Sunday because they understand they're not going to get a better deal. I imagine JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs came back to them and said, hey, nobody wants your shit. And the ones who do can't get it done from a regulatory perspective, from antitrust perspective. That's the best you're going to get. And you better pray that this deal is still on the table. Go grovel to this man and try to get this deal done, especially now that funding was actually indeed secured as he actually submitted. And that basically means that the onus on the Twitter board to prove why this deal is not that good for Twitter. If they fuck it up right now and the deal doesn't get done because they drag their feet because of the poison pill and such, they're going to have to explain in about 2 months why the share price is $25 and they could have sold at 54 and they didn't.
That's a good point.
And the thing is, it's not about the monetary damage. They're all going to get sued, and some of them may or may not have to pay damages. Some of them may be insured. Some of them may be indemnified by the company. The thing isn't about the money. The thing is the reputational damage. They're going to be ruined if they don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tom and I are in agreement here. So I'm going to cede the rest of my rebuttal to Tom. Instead of cutting off your ball, why don't you cut off that weird thing on your foot that we saw earlier? What is that, man?
That's a wart.
No, I don't. Like you better not show it again. Do not show it again. I don't want to see that.
No,
I don't want to see that.
I'm going to show it again.
No.
Okay.
Shut him off.
Okay. So this is what you get, Justin, when you actually walk. Because you lived in California all your life. You drive everywhere. And you live in Miami. You drive everywhere in your piece of shit Gladiator yappy car. You don't walk. I actually walk to places. I don't drive unless I absolutely have to. So you get this shit on your feet, which is kind of sucks. But when you also do manual labor,
wait, you're telling me you got your wart from walking? I'm pretty sure that's not how you get warts from. I think you've been spending too much time in the Russian bathhouses. How it's called,
like a mazol. If any Russians in the chat, can you translate mazol?
That's not a wart. That's a blister.
Blister. Yes, blister. Sorry.
Okay.
When you work with your hands, you get blisters when you walk.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I just want to say one more thing before we go, before we let this topic go, and this is really important. So I want to give a huge shout out to Patrick Boyle, who has a channel called Patrick Boyle in Finance, who explained to me something that I didn't fully realize, which is that the poison pill is not really an aggressive adversarial move by the board. In fact, the poison pill is just a pause button for the board to make the purchaser talk to them and not go around them and buy from the shareholders for cheap. It basically creates a mutual assured destruction, basically. So it never gets enacted. And he explained to me in a very great way. It's on my channel, 2 hours. The thing is, it just basically creates a situation where the board has to negotiate and you have to negotiate with the board. But if the board doesn't negotiate in good faith, they basically get sued, like you mentioned, Justin. And they're not going to get sued. They have to do the deal. One more thing. As I mentioned in my video, people are going to complain, hey, Tom, you should have known this about the poison pill. I'm just going to say, motherfucker, the poison pill is a theory. It's a fucking Gordon Gekko Hollywood movie. Nobody uses poison pills. People who think companies just poison pill themselves out the wazoo, it doesn't really happen. I mean, we just had one with Netflix over the past 20 years. It's not the sort of thing that usually we deal with.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't have the board minutes, so you don't know if it's being done as a aggressive maneuver or as a just please just talk to us maneuver. You just don't know. So I think
he was very pragmatic. He said, look, he was basically very pragmatic. He said, look, the board just want to make sure they can't get a better deal. They have their fiduciary duty mandates them not to take the first offer they get and just go out and search for a better deal. And they can't get it done until they block Elon from going around them.